Any storm has three basic phases: the immediate response, taking care of human needs. Then there is a recovery phase in which we help people through personal recovery. And long term is rebuilding.
We stuck around a week that Sunday after Katrina, almost a full week, when the National Guards came and told us we had to leave. If not, we were going to be arrested.
I'll tell you what, the winds were howling and whistling like never before. It seemed like a bad one.
It was the worst mess I ever saw in my life. The most vicious wind and rain I ever saw in my life.
But we beat that storm. Me and my brother-in-law came downstairs celebrating because the winds were gone, the rains were gone, and we had beat another one, cleaning up, getting ready to open for the next day when here comes the water a few hours later. Where the heck is that water coming from? We asking each other. It's coming through the toilets, the floor drains, everywhere. And within seconds, the water was up to my chest.
Wouldn't have been for the flooding, none of this would have happened. But here, it was bad. But across the Industrial Canal, in what they call the Lower Ninth Ward, that was tragic. That was tragic. Looked like they had dropped a bomb.
A couple of our neighbors were rescued, and we finally got in touch with one of them who told us that the water was over our home.
We could see satellite pictures, and I knew I could literally see my house on the internet, and and we knew it was over. Our life as we knew it was over.
Actually, I was trying to get to Baton Rouge, but they lied to me saying they was going to take me to Baton Rouge, and I ended up in South Carolina, and they said, well, you get back the best way you can. This is it. We just had to get you out of New Orleans.
When Katrina hit, I lived for 3 months in Houston. People were wonderful, loved it, but I wanted to come back home.
I've been in the military, and I've seen combat, and so this is kind of like a war zone. It's just destroyed.
It's devastating. It's hard to believe that, you spend a whole bunch of money, you insure it, you buy a house, you start raising a family, and then you come back and everything's gone.
This was my world, and I expected to live here till I died.
Then you come and find out that insurance companies don't want to pay off.
You had insurance, you've been paying on it for years, they should have gave you something. The money should be released, and I don't think it should have took this long.
They have thousands of people who want to come back home, but come home to what?
I want to come back. This is my home. I was born and raised here in the Lower Ninth Ward, and this is where I want to be. I work 16 hours a day, and when I get a chance to get off early, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to do repairs on my own.
Despite all the challenges and despite the neglect, they're doing it themselves. It's the residents from this neighborhood who have the least to give who are giving the most.
Video does not do this justice. It's devastating.
When Katrina hit, the waters came. But that was a natural disaster. The biggest disaster was man's response. And what man has done and hasn't done since. It's been a bigger disaster than what Katrina was.
You gotta help me. I can't do it all by myself. You gotta help me, baby. I can't do it all by myself. If you can't help me, I'm gonna have to find somebody else.
Well, there was a great organization called Common Ground who came. We didn't go looking for them. They came looking for us. Said, do you need help? I said, do I? Come and look at this place. And in a few days, we had this whole place gutted out, thanks to Common Ground. I didn't have to pay for that. They helped me to do all that and wanted to put the money in to put it back together. I said, no, I'm not going to let you do that. I have insurance, and by golly, they're going to pay for it.
Common Ground is an all-volunteer organization. From the very top to the very bottom, everyone is a volunteer. And the reason Common Ground first came down here, the reason I'm still working down here, is just to work with the people from the Lower Ninth Ward to give them the opportunity to come back to their neighborhood, to come back to their homes.
There would be absolutely no way that these homes could be made into a living habitat without people to help them. And it's incredibly moving to be part of that. There's absolutely nothing like going into your first untouched house from the storm.
We have a 4-step process. We take out all the contents, being as sensitive to salvage anything that's personal, anything that's in decent condition. Take out all the moldings, the drywall.
And then we'll go into more of the gutting and then pulling nails and then cleaning it out. And then we'll come back with another crew that pressure wash it. It's a certain kind of chemical that eats up the mold in the house.
I'm throwing out memories. I'm throwing out toys and glasses and knickknacks that have been collected for years. So it's really heart-wrenching that all these memories are being thrown out.
A year later, still getting houses. We have the longest waiting list ever. And I figured 3 weeks out of my summer to help out is nothing compared to what some people have been doing. Some people have been here for 12 months.
Oh, the devastation, the houses that are dilapidated, your furniture out in the front lawn, stoves, fridges. It's just too much.
These people are coming from Lord knows what part of the country, and they're here helping out us.
It's just seeing every house, one right after another. It's like every house was affected. Everybody was affected down here. You know, we're only a small group, and we're only doing a small part, and there's so much more to do. Like, I can't believe that, you know, it's a year later, and, you know, it's only like a drop in a bucket.
It's so sad what these people are going through. These people need help bad, really bad. And I don't know how else they're going to get it done without people coming down here. People need to remember the human piece of this whole tragedy.
I feel every day like it's only just so much. I wish I could do so much more.
It is truly beyond words. These people, to just give up their time and do this disgustingly terrible work, and then ask what else can we do for you, not what are you going to do for us, is it is so very much appreciated.
But if it wasn't for the volunteers, I don't know what this city would do, what the people would do, because the government hasn't done a thing, nothing.
We see a few FEMA trailers around, and those people are getting help. But for every one of those, you see, there's maybe like 20 or 30, who knows how many houses that aren't getting any help.
Every level of government failed the state of Louisiana. This is a culture-rich city, traditions here that really are the backbone of our country.
We only have about 8% of our town habitable right now. 100% of the businesses were gone. Basically no tax base right now. We're in a bad place. Probably that a year later people are still living in tents and FEMA trailers and don't have FEMA trailers, and you've got 2 or 3 families in one FEMA trailer. A year ago these people were okay and living, and you've got this whole population of newly poor that were really okay month to month, and now they are now living hour to hour.
I wanted to really, really be hands-on in helping, Katrina people. So then what I did is that the best way I could do that is offer my time and my skill.
One of the blessings that came out of Katrina were all the nonprofit and faith-based organizations working together. We can't do everything, but we can be part of a whole that can do some great work.
We're in partners with the Lutherans. It's called Lutheran Episcopal Services of Mississippi. So we have funding and volunteers from Episcopal Lutherans, or from anyone actually. They come from every walk of life, every faith or non-faith, every state in the union, and I think about 20 foreign countries we've had.
Just passing through New Orleans for 4 or 5 days. We thought we'd come help out with the volunteer efforts here.
Obviously, lending a hand wherever you can makes you feel good. So I would recommend it to anyone.
Simply give a little bit of time to help others in any way you can.
It's just people helping people, really. Just feel it's a spiritual gift that I can come down here and maybe make a difference.
I was tired of watching it on the news and hearing the stories and not actually being here to be able to help be a part of the solution.
I think the hope is that despite all these obstacles, all these stumbling blocks, you meet people like the family who own the house right behind me who still fully intend to move back, who, despite everything that's been thrown up against them, still want to come back to this area.
We've got to move on to the next level of helping, just rebuilding a community.
That's human. And that's what we all need to do all over the United States. We need to chip in and help each other.
Ever since the hurricane, I hadn't had a chance to come back, and I felt like I wasn't a part of it, and I lived here my whole life, and I just really wanted to give back. So today's my first day.
Our goal was to build 40 houses over the course of the summer. With the volunteer loads that we received, we were able to accomplish about 30 of those homes.
Wonderful feeling. It's just fabulous. I mean, to see people take their time to come here and do this is it's magnificent.
I did 2 weeks of gutting of houses in St. Bernard Parish, and now I'm working at Musicians Village.
Today, we're going to the same church, whether you're Baptist, non-Baptist, Methodist, non-Methodist, Christian, non-Christian.
In spite of human tragedy, you know, Americans have come through in such beautiful, beautiful numbers.
I think we've gutted out somewhere close to 1,600 homes so far today. About 4 or 5 months ago, I've stepped back from the gut out program and started a rebuilding program, and have probably put back together about 25 homes so far.
The difference between, I think, Common Ground and a lot of other projects and relief work that happens is that we are not a charity organization. You know, we're what we consider a solidarity organization. We stand with residents.
We have served over 131,000 people in the last 9 months. 61,000 people of those people are through the distribution of goods. We've gutted 380 homes to date. We're currently developing 3 resource centers where people can come for distribution of goods, for respite, for hospitality, for legal aid, medical attention. The life's blood of these centers will be volunteers.
A week after the storm, we established our relief center, which is now called Camp Coast Care. That relief center has aided over 400,000 people with aid of some sort, and is now moving into rebuilding of homes. We have used tens of thousands of volunteers to manage the camp, and we're in desperate need now for more. The volunteer pool's kind of dried up.
Maybe we could recruit like Uncle Sam used to do. You know, we have an age group that used to go to the military when there's a government worth following. But this government we have now, there are not many people willing to join the military and fight for this type of leadership. But there's still that pool of people of that age group that's looking for something to do. Normally the people that you get that will be volunteering out here would be in the military. But we could recruit that age group like the military does. You know, we have something for you, something that will build the world, make you stronger.
You like that too, huh, Lucy?